All right, this is Mr. Goldberg, and welcome to the first sports and entertainment marketing video, the marketing concept. And it's actually more of like an introduction to marketing, but it is focused on the marketing concept. So we'll just call it that. So let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Show failing. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So today, here's what we are going to talk about, what I'm going to talk about, what you're going to listen to. 5 things. The marketing concept, which you should already know by now, but just in case you have it as a formal note. Needs versus wants, the exchange process, benefits of marketing, why marketing is so important to business. And then there'll be some questions at the end as well. So I forgot to mention that. Speaking of which, some reminders here. As you watch this video, there's 3 things I want you to focus on. First, you're going to be making notes. As there is no textbook, this is kind of your textbook for the course. So make notes as you go along. If you miss something, you can always rewind and look it over again, or get that note down, or pause as you are hearing this. And that's kind of a nice thing, because if we were doing it live, you can pause me. So it's a nice convenience you have. Also, avoid distractions. So as you're doing this should be the only thing you're doing, watching the video. You shouldn't be listening to music, playing some game in the background, and just try to be in a place where you can just focus on the video. The video shouldn't last too long, so it's something to be aware of. And finally, if you've taken good notes, you've avoided distractions, again, there'll be some review questions, so you'll answer the review questions. You'll have that ready for the next class, and you'll be prepared to go. And as well, that will help you if any tests and just course material in general. So let's get started. The marketing concept. Again, you already know this, so let's do it rather quickly. The view that an organization's ability to sell its products and services depends upon the effective identification of consumer needs and wants, and successfully determining how best to satisfy those needs and wants. So basically, again, as we said in class, making sure that you're making a product or delivering a service that people actually need or want. You're not just doing something for your own pleasure that nobody else gets. It's something that has what's called in the business world utility, or has the ability to satisfy those needs and wants. Speaking of which, we should define what a need and want is. So a need is something that you need. No, a need is something that a consumer must have, or something you can't live without. So just those basic things, those necessities of life. So food, water, shelter, that sort of stuff. And a want is something that looks pretty good, but you can survive without it. So officially, something a consumer would like to have. So you might want an Xbox 360 or tickets to an upcoming show or a game. But of course, you can survive without those. Food, you need. All right. Third thing, the exchange process. And this kind of seems straightforward, but it is something you do have to know. So here we go. The exchange process is I'm reading here. Marketing transaction in which the buyer provides something of value to the seller in return for the goods or services that, of course, meet the buyer's needs or wants. Okay, so with marketing, we are involved with the selling of goods. So some sort of exchange has to happen. People get goods or services for money, or maybe something else if you're doing barter. So that exchange process actually has 3 requirements, which you may know, but you may not have thought about. Here they are. The first, of course, there must be 2 parties involved. You can't just sell something to yourself. That doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? There must be 2 parties involved. And I guess you could say at least 2 parties involved if it's like a very complicated sort of trade. There must be some means of communication between the parties, and of course a desire to engage in a partnership with the other person. If you're being forced to do it, that's not a real productive exchange. It's bound to fail. And of course, each party must be free to accept or decline the offer. The exchange process probably does not work so well in a communist country, for example, when people, I'm generalizing here, but if you're forced to get something, that's not a proper exchange. All right, benefits of marketing. So what is so good about marketing? Why are you taking this course? Why do people study marketing, become marketing professionals? Well, there are many benefits, of course. So let's get on with it. So, and of course, this is focused on the consumer. So for the consumer, marketing adds perceived value to goods and services. So when you see something on a shelf, that's nice. But if you actually go to a website, see an ad on TV, see the product being used, or see the service being used, it could add some value to what you think the product actually does. You may actually teach you how to use the product in a better way. Makes the buying process easy and convenient for consumers. Now, this is the part of marketing involved with distribution. So, if people have their distribution strategy in place, so if people, when I say people, I mean businesses, when they have goods and services readily available for you, that really helps you as a consumer. If there's only one location to get a particular product, and I'm sure you've experienced the situation where you find out that there is something that you want to buy, yet the person selling it is 100 kilometers away. That's not convenient. If there's a distribution channel in place, instead of 100 kilometers, it might actually be 1 kilometer away or 5 kilometers. Third, the idea here is with marketing, there's the creation and maintenance of reasonable prices. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, if I'm selling this to me, they're marketing this to me, the prices are going to be higher. If lots of people are doing it, other companies are going to be aware of competitors' prices. So prices actually should be overall a bit lower than if nobody knew about the other people buying and selling in other parts of the world. These days with online media, it's easy to find out. Also, through marketing, a variety of goods and services is offered to consumers. So that's a nice thing. And finally, production is increased. So you may think that's a benefit for business. But again, if you need something and there's only 5 available in the world, that's not so great. If marketing happens and people are aware of it, demand happens and companies know that they have to make more of the item. So that's what that production point means. 5, why marketing is so important to business, so the business perspective as opposed to the consumer perspective. So through marketing, we have financial success. And I guess an offshoot of financial success is profitability. All businesses to survive need to make profit. And when they do, they take those profits and they either give them to the people who own the company, shareholders if it's a large corporation, or just the owners in general. And they could also take that money and further invest into the company, grow the company, offer more and more things that people need and want. And finally, with marketing, marketers strive to identify and understand all factors that influence consumer buying decisions. So basically, again, back to the marketing concept. Through effective marketing, people are offered items that really relate to them. Businesses will listen to their consumers, their customers, and if something is wrong with a product or service, if they're good, the businesses, they'll adjust to that and make things better for the consumer and make the overall experience better for the consumer. Doesn't always happen, but when it does, it's a really good thing, and it's what should happen. Finally, questions. This is my contact information there, so use it professionally, of course. Questions, 5 of them here. So explain the difference between a need and a want. I'm not going to ask you about the marketing concept. Again, we dealt with it at length in class. Number 2, what is the exchange process? And similar or connected to number 2, what are the 3 requirements of the exchange process? So hopefully you remembered that when you took good notes. What are the 5 benefits of marketing for consumers listed here? There are many more benefits, by the way, but these are 5 key benefits. And finally, what are 3 reasons that marketing is so important for business? This is Mr. Goldberg. Hope you've enjoyed. We'll see you next time.